Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is Peter Lucash, and this presentation is a report on a research study recently done looking at how founder CEOs of young entrepreneurial companies make operational decisions. How do they make the decisions on a day-to-day basis, which drives the future of the company? We began with the premise that all human action is a result of human choice. Everything we do, we may make a decision in the morning on what clothes to wear. We make decisions where to go for lunch and what to have for lunch. And ultimately, we're going to decide in our business world whether to hire somebody new, who to hire, how to assign work, and so on. All the day-to-day kinds of decision makings different from strategic decision making. Decision making has been a subject of intense research and discussion and fascination for researchers and management consultants and advisors and leaders for decades, well over 100 years. There's this classic decision-making model. It's called the rational model. And this begins with the idea that human beings are rational, that they do things in their best interest and think about it almost without emotion. We identify and define what the problem is. Often the most difficult part, by the way, what is the problem? What the difficulty we see in front of us may be a symptom of what is the actual problem. We'll do an information search, understand what's happening, talk to people, might do some research, might read, might do some market analysis, might do a lot of different things in order to gather information and look at, okay, these are our choices now. These are alternatives. We're going to make a choice. We evaluate these, and then we make a decision and we act on it. That's the classic model. More recently, models had said, well, in looking at research, well, maybe that's not how people actually make decisions. They may rely more upon the situation, has a great deal of bearing on how decisions make made, and the expertise and experience of the decision maker is really what drives things. This is what we call intuition, the gut feel. People may think they have a gut reaction and a gut feel, and they go by their gut in making a decision, which is nice. But if they don't have the expertise and the experience, they may make poor decisions. There's considerable research which is finding that the more experience and expertise and skill people have, the better the decisions they're making as far as the outcome. So we looked at interviewing 8 founder CEOs of entrepreneurial stage companies. These are companies between 2 and 10 years old of existence. They have a product on the market. And the person interviewed was a founder, and one of the founders or co-founders, and functions as CEO of the company. So we're talking about nascent companies. Companies in this stage are in a constant state of uncertainty. They don't have an established customer base and sales flow. So there's always these ups and downs. They're always looking at where's the next sales going to come from and projecting to the future. And they have to make decisions when they don't have a lot of history to go upon. Operational decisions are fundamental. That's what leaders do. That's what managers and leaders do. That's how things get done in the organization. Decisions are the action. It may mean committing resources, direction of the organization, more tactical basis. Somehow commits the organization in some manner. So merging companies, we're talking about here, these nascent companies don't have the policies and procedures. They're making decisions very often on an ad hoc basis. And these decisions become precedent for the future. In fact, one of the CEOs, who's a serial entrepreneur, said once a company gets about 10 people, and I have to start writing like a policy manual or even an employment manual or vacation manual, that's when I want out of here. Let somebody else run the company. I'm still an investor, still an owner or part owner, but let somebody else run it. So what do we learn? Intensive. I sat down with each of these folks and had a long conversation about many things, principally looking at key decisions they made. This is a decision point. A point comes, and we know this from our own day-to-day experience, we have to make a decision. It's 6:30 in the morning, or we have to decide what we're going to wear in the morning because we need to get to work. There's typically a precipitating a definable problem. Once they get to that, and typically this has to do with cash flow and workload. And that's inherent in the entrepreneurial stage. The workload is getting up. They need to see how are we going to staff it. What we found was generally that founder CEOs were fostering an informal open relationships. They have a very small number of employees. There aren't a lot of secrets in many ways. People kind of feel what's going on, kind of know, even if they don't specifically know. If there are other investors, they of course have to be informed and part of it. And if they're a founder, if there is a partner, that's typically a key person. So the process they have is quick, but is deliberate. They'll gather information, but they don't want formal presentations. Get to the point here. So what I'm suggesting is that the founder CEO decision making is sort of an accelerated classic model. Remember the 5 points? Well, an issue arises. There is information gathering, but it tends to be more informal. We won't have a formal presentation, but they'll show the spreadsheet. The staff person will sit with the CEO and or partners. Okay, this is what we're finding. This is our projection out. No formal meetings, more one-to-one conversation. The data gathered is deliberate. It's focused on what the purpose is, and they're very focused on the goals. It's a comment across all of the people I interviewed, very goal-oriented, growing the company. It's not so much about making money per se. That's there. But they keep talking about, I'm growing the company. I want to grow the company. I don't want a lifestyle company. I want to grow the company. I want to grow the company. And there's a feedback loop here. This is important. Even after the decision is made, as the situation changes, and the situation is always dynamic in any organization, in any setting, the decision may be adjusted as new information comes available, and as the decision is being implemented, changes begin to be made. That's the highlights. This presentation was developed from the dissertation research I conducted as part of my doctorate in organizational leadership at Northeastern. My deepest appreciation, of course, to my advisor, Dr. Margaret Gorman, and most especially to the founder CEOs who graciously gave of their time in making this study possible. My name is Peter Lucash. This is how you reach me. I am a speaker, trainer, and facilitator. I work in management and leadership development. I've been in business for over 30 years as a C-level executive and as a business consultant. And now for the past 15, 20 years or so, more and more involved with training. And I teach at Northeastern and several other schools, leadership, entrepreneurship, organizational behavior, and management types of work. And if I can help you either as a speaker, for yourself or for your company or for your organization in the community, I'll be happy to chat with you and appreciate it. So thank you, and you'll have a good day.